Hey everyone, this is Ian with AlphaCars and Motorcycles. Today I'm reporting from our service center, and we're very busy in here, so there might be some noises here and there. But we have a Lexus LX470 up on the lift, and this vehicle is getting an underbody treatment. So right now we're in the stages, early stages of we're about to knock off all the kind of loose scaling rust. And we can see here we knocked on the frame here, and now there's a little window there, a little hole. So overall, this frame is structurally good. And if you're wondering why we're doing a underbody treatment on the frame already in this condition, we actually have a video covering that subject that I'll link right now for you to watch. So definitely check that out. But pretty much the short answer is this is the most cost-effective way to lengthen the usability, lengthen the life in a cost-effective way of this frame. So rather than just continuing to leave it on its course of rusting, we can considerably slow that down by cleaning it and applying a rust controlling measure, I guess you could say. So on this crossmember, this is the only part we had some real penetrating rust damage. The rest of this is actually really just kind of scaling rust, some surface rust. You know, there's some areas that maybe aren't as pretty as others, but this vehicle has around 200,000 miles on it. So discussing it with the vehicle owner, this is really the best course of action, whereas mechanically this Lexus has a lot more life in it, as these are very reliable, very robust, kind of hard to kill vehicles. Really, they have rust issues before they have like engine or drivetrain issues long term. So to keep this vehicle going for as long as possible with the condition it's currently in, this is what we and the customer decided on. And we can see too, these are non-structural. This is the unibody. So we have some rust damage there, and a little bit on this side. You can see someone, looks like they sprayed maybe some thin paint on there to cover it up at one point. So the customer, we're not gonna weld in new metal there. We're just gonna knock off the loose rust and once again use a penetrating rust converter to try to slow it down. And like I said, that's where we're not gonna go overboard, so to speak, on a frame or on a vehicle already in this condition maybe. So that's kind of where we're at on this vehicle. So I'm gonna take you along in the process. We've knocked on the frame, testing its structural integrity, which is when we found, that penetrating rust over here, this little hole in the crossmember. So now we're gonna go and thoroughly clean, scrape, get any loose rust we can off of it, so then we can use a penetrating primer or penetrating rust converter. And now on the Lexus, we've just completed removing kind of all the loose surface rust on it. So if we look now at some of the previous areas that there was some kind of loose scaling rust, it's down to you can see the panhard bar here is a good example. We can see it's down to that bottom layer. So then when we use the penetrating fluid, it can really attack the proper layer of rust, not just a layer of rust that's gonna flake off. Even this area in the frame and the crossmember, we can see now how clean that looks. Of course, the damage is still there, but it's very clean. So now we're down to the kind of bottom layer, so we can treat that properly. So now just taking one more quick look. You can see it does, especially you see these control arms. You can see they're really just opened up to that kind of bottom layer of surface rust. So if you remember before, you could see kind of the bright orange rust, remaining surface rust on the vehicle. And we can now see it's a darker color. It's sort of like a black. So what we've just done is the rust treatment, and the good news about all this rust that used to be kind of bright and orangey, now that it's black, that tells us that the chemical has reacted properly and it's really neutralized that rust. So we can see the actual surface is black now. It's not like a spray-on thing that's maybe hiding it, turning it black. As we can see, there's still a a little bit of orange in spots that comes through. So we will do another kind of spot treatment now that we've done the whole vehicle with this. So we'll do, like I said, another spot treatment on some of the areas that are maybe showing through a little bit, that need a little more application to really soak in. We can see it's already looking better. And then the next step, we're gonna do the actual rust protection application, of course, after the spot treatment I mentioned. So the vehicle will get wrapped up in plastic. Underneath the vehicle, a few things will get wrapped, things like the exhaust, where we don't want that product to get on. And of course, wrapping it in plastic as well, it'll protect the outside of the vehicle and the things around our shop as well. So taking one last look, we can already see such a nice difference now with everything having kind of a darker appearance. And like I said, we can see that that is the real surface, and that's this treatment has turned the rust that color. So pretty cool thing that able to do now with these treatments and really prolong the life of our vehicles in a economical way. We've got the old skid plate or kind of supporting pan off the gas tank. We can see there's really no structural integrity left in multiple places. We didn't even really knock on this more once we got it off. This is just kind of as the condition it was in.
We received our parts for this job. This is for the gas tank mounting pan and a skid plate replacement. Here is the new part that would replace the one that rusted out. And we're also replacing the mounting straps because they are badly weakened by rust. Usually what we would do, we would slide out these pins, at least on one of them, because the mounting bolt is not accessible on the Land Cruisers and LX 470. Not easily accessible. To access that, you really need to lower the gas tank substantially, and for that you would have to disconnect the filler neck. So we usually slide out this pin and slip the new strap and put the new pin. Unfortunately here it is rusted badly and the pin is seized, so we're gonna have to take another approach here. We're gonna use the undamaged portion of the strap and cut it and overlap the new one by probably 2 or 3 inches. And the reason if this didn't have all the rust, we would absolutely lower the gas tank and replace it with a bracket, but we just don't want to open up potentially another can of worms here. This skid plate mounting pan comes in pretty much just a factory primer, minimal to no protection from rust, so we would recommend scuffing it and applying protective coating. Would use the chip guard material.
I know that the new gas tank support straps and the mounting protection pan, all that is installed now. As you can see, it looks awesome as we did the rust protection on the gas tank pan. And we did spray the inside of the pan as well before it was mounted. So the pan is completely protected inside and out. We can see all the new hardware there for the straps. All looks very nice. And then where the rivets are, we can see those are all protected as well. And I will mention those are high strength steel rivets. They're designed to be like load bearing. Now we have the Lexus prepped for the rust proofing or rust protection application. We can see very nice protection set up. So then our shop doesn't get the coating applied to it, and as well, it protects the vehicle as well, so the coating doesn't go, on the vehicle's paint or other places. So checking out quick the one of the special tools we use, you can see this air-powered applicator. So this is a very special tool. You can see it's very thin, and it applies it in multiple directions. So this will go in all, the enclosed areas and such, and really have such a thorough application. And we can see right here as well, we have a lineup of the fluid film cans. And now if we can hear that noise, that is the product being applied. If I peek in here, so we can see our technician with that special tool I showed you. He's spraying inside the enclosed areas with the special tool.
So we're about to shoot our final segment of the Lexus LX 470. You'll see we did finish all the work, and we applied a generous coat of fluid film protective coating. And we specifically use clear film. You can use black, it looks prettier, but then you don't really see what's happening underneath the coating. So we do use fluid film clear. And you'll see some area that it looks a little yellow and foamy. That is going to dissipate and penetrate. We applied excessive amount. We put more in the areas where we feel it's gonna absorb that. So let's take a look at it together. I'll show you all the details, how this looks now that the product is applied. We're going to start from the front suspension, and in this video segment you saw how it looked, and just so you know, it was just the rust treatment that for the most part turned the rust to black, and now it's still porous. So now the fluid film, the clear product we applied, is penetrating into where the rust areas are. And you can see, for example, right there, you can see a little bit of brown, and that is going to absorb the fluid film just like in all these areas. And that's the foaminess that I talked to you earlier. That's going to penetrate into the rusted areas even more. So you can see all this. And fluid film is phenomenal product for any type of hardware, threaded joints, because it definitely softens that up. So if any time in the future, for example, if someone has to work on the front suspension, take that apart, it's gonna make it much, much easier. So that's how things look here. And then we sprayed the product on the inside of the frame rail, cross members. Here are the torsion bars. Those replace, those have a function of coil springs, air suspension, leaf springs. It's just a component. It's a spring. And then this one is adjustable because there's a threaded joint up here. Here's another cross member and frame rail that is soaked with fluid film from inside. And you can see the protective coating on the outside. And we're making our way towards the rear suspension. And that's how it looks. And all those areas on the unibody right there, for example, where there are rusted areas, they're still there, but they're soaked with fluid film. The rust is not going to damage the metal at the same rate. It's going to go much, much slower, and possibly in many areas it will stop for the rust getting actually worse. And the customer decided to defer to the areas that have the sheet metal damage, like right here. Again, we soaked it with fluid film, and at the right time, the vehicle will be back and we'll fabricate metal patches, and this can be repaired. But for right now, it does not affect the structural integrity of the vehicle. And there's a rather small damaged area. There was one we discovered over here, and we actually used that opening to get the fluid film inside the rocker panel. And then on the other side, we're going to plug that, but there was an opening right here. We used that to fill the rocker panel with fluid film.
And welcome to the final segment of the Lexus LX470. We did a complimentary clean or detail on the vehicle. So we can see how nice the exterior looks, and the interior looks just as nice as well. So I just wanted to make this final segment and really expand on the fact of what Dimitri talked about. We can see the exterior body of this Lexus. It looks really nice. You would never tell, the underbody really, needed some attention. Of course, there's a few, personality marks like right there. But really in New England, these Lexuses and Toyotas, the engine and drivetrains are so good in these cars. It's the rust, it's the road treatments they do which causes the rust that eats the underbodies of these vehicles, unfortunately. So I just wanted to show quickly, we can peek once again at the underbody. I know Dimitri just showed you, but it really looks like a different vehicle, even looking in there to the frame rails. So I just wanted to make this final segment just talking about that quick, as this vehicle, this is why really the owner, they wanted to just prolong the life of the vehicle, get at least a few more years out of it on the road, because you can see the exterior, it really looks so nice and it presents its age so well. And of course the engine and drivetrain, mechanically it's in very nice shape. So especially long term, this treatment we did, those areas that hadn't been affected by rust yet, of course it'll help in preventing those areas from being attacked as well. And then short term, the areas that already have rust damage, it's really, that rust is gonna absorb this treatment and it's really gonna slow that down. And like I said, lengthen the service life of the vehicle. So I wanna thank you for watching this video. If you'd like a free estimate on having one of these treatments done to your vehicle here at AlphaCars, just give us a call at 978-263-9000 or send us an email at service@alphacars.com, and we'd be happy to do so. So this has been Ian reporting from our Boxborough showroom. Of course, I thank Dimitri as well for his segments on this vehicle. Please like this video so it gets recommended to others, so others can learn as well how to save and prolong the life of their vehicles. And of course, subscribe so then you don't miss out on the latest motoring content.